If your legs feel weaker after 60, the real problem might be sitting in your fruit bowl. Because while fruit sounds healthy, some of the most common ones, the ones marketed as light, clean, and heart-friendly, can quietly destroy your leg strength after 60. They spike inflammation, they worsen circulation, and they can make even a short walk feel exhausting. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dr. Carter, fruit? Really? That's what's causing my problems? And I understand the skepticism. We've been told our entire lives that fruit is nature's candy, that it's always a healthy choice. But here's what most doctors won't tell you. After 60, your body changes dramatically. What once gave you energy may now be silently taking it away. The truth is, certain fruits eaten daily are not harmless. They disrupt blood flow, they damage the vessels that feed your muscles, and over time, they can make your legs feel heavier, stiffer, and slower, even if you're still moving. The danger is not obvious. These are fruits that sit in bowls, offered with kindness. They're not candy, they're not processed junk food, and yet they are quietly draining power from the very limbs that carry your life forward. Today, I'm going to explain everything. What these fruits are, why they harm the body after 60, and most importantly, what you can do about it. But we must take our time, because this isn't just about sugar. It's about circulation, inflammation, muscle memory, and the difference between looking healthy and being healthy. Fruit number 1, grapes. Let's start with grapes, and I say this with care because grapes have a beautiful history. They're sweet, symbolic, and often seen as a clean snack. But after 60, grapes can quietly sabotage your legs. Here's why. Grapes are extremely high in fructose, not glucose, not fiber-rich complex carbs, fructose, and fructose behaves differently in the body. It doesn't go into your bloodstream like other sugars. Instead, it goes straight to your liver. And in aging bodies where liver efficiency has already slowed, this becomes a problem. Fructose overwhelms the liver. It raises uric acid levels, and that uric acid interferes with nitric oxide, the compound your blood vessels use to relax and expand. Without it, circulation narrows, and when circulation narrows, blood doesn't reach your legs efficiently. That means less oxygen, less nutrient delivery, and slower muscle repair. Over time, it's like watering a garden through a pinched hose. The legs don't die, they just stop thriving. And here's what makes it worse. Grapes are often eaten in handfuls. They don't fill you up, they don't trigger fullness hormones. So people eat more. Seniors who are trying to snack light might go through a bowl of grapes in a day without realizing they've overwhelmed their vascular system. In my practice, I don't look at food as simply good or bad. I look at how it behaves in the body, and grapes, though natural, behave like fuel without direction, sweet, fast, and volatile. That is not what older legs need. Fruit number 2, bananas. The next one is bananas. This surprises people because bananas are considered gentle, even medicinal in many cultures. And yes, they do contain potassium, which supports muscle function. But they also come with a serious caveat. They're very high in simple carbohydrates, and in seniors with insulin resistance, which is extremely common after 60, bananas can backfire. Let me be clear, not everyone reacts the same way. But here's what the data tells us. A 2016 study in the journal Nutrients found that in older adults with impaired glucose tolerance, even medium glycemic fruits like bananas caused exaggerated post-meal blood sugar fluctuations. And those spikes lead to microvascular stress. The tiny blood vessels in your legs and feet take the hit first. Add to that the reality that many older adults eat bananas as part of light meals, with toast or as a quick breakfast. And what you get is a high-carb, low-protein, low-fat combination that offers no metabolic cushion. Blood sugar rises fast, insulin follows, and then energy drops. What's left is inflammation, and inflammation erodes strength. Now, I'm not saying bananas are poison, but they might not be right for everyone. especially without protein or fiber to slow things down. In traditional practice, we rarely eat bananas alone. They might be included sparingly and often with nuts or yogurt, something to anchor the sugar and slow its arrival in the bloodstream. But I see many older patients grabbing a banana and coffee, rushing out the door, and wondering why they feel shaky by 11 a.m. That's not just aging. That's physiology under strain. Fruit number 3, pineapple. Pineapple. And again, this surprises people because pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme known for its anti-inflammatory effects. But we must look at the whole fruit, not just the headlines. Pineapple is extremely high in fructose and acidic compounds, and after 60, those acids combined with sugar can trigger something few people think about: low-grade edema. Here's how it works. As we age, the endothelial lining of our blood vessels becomes more fragile. When exposed to too much sugar, especially fructose, it becomes inflamed. At the same time, acidity from fruits like pineapple irritates the gut lining in sensitive individuals, impairing nutrient absorption. And when those two stresses combine, the body begins retaining fluid, especially in the legs. This is not just a cosmetic issue. That fluid impairs oxygen delivery to the muscles and slows recovery after walking or exercise. I've seen this countless times in my practice. Seniors saying their legs feel puffy or tight by afternoon, even though they're drinking water and elevating their feet. And most never consider that fruit could be part of the trigger, especially something with such a clean, tropical image. A 2019 study in Clinical Interventions in Aging found that even mild fluid retention in the lower limbs, common among older adults, was associated with reduced walking speed, slower chair rise time, and higher fall risk. And what fuels that retention? Often it's diet-driven inflammation. Pineapple, despite its benefits, can be a key contributor for some seniors, especially when eaten in large quantities or on an empty stomach. This is why I always tell my patients, observe your body. One person may tolerate pineapple well. Another may feel heavy-legged within hours. There is no universal rule. But if you notice swelling, tightness, or muscle fatigue after eating certain fruits, pay attention. The body speaks quietly. We must learn to listen. Fruit number 4, watermelon. And this is a difficult one because it feels so pure. It's mostly water, it's sweet, refreshing, easy to chew. But beneath that simplicity is a metabolic trap, especially for aging muscles. Watermelon is extremely high on the glycemic index. That means it's absorbed very quickly, causing a rapid surge in blood glucose followed by an equally fast crash. For seniors whose glucose regulation is already impaired, this can be destabilizing. But more importantly, watermelon is low in fiber and protein and has almost no fat. That combination means it doesn't support satiety or muscular repair. Now, here's what most people miss. Legs don't just need sugar for movement. They need stability, sustained blood flow, steady fuel, and nutrients that rebuild microtears in the muscle. Watermelon offers none of that. It hydrates, yes, but only temporarily. And if eaten in excess, it can dilute essential electrolytes, including magnesium and potassium. That in turn leads to cramping. I've definitely seen this. Patients who eat fruit all day in the summer and end up with restless legs or night cramps. They're hydrating, but they're not nourishing. And no one thinks the fruit could be the reason. Hydration without mineral support is incomplete. It's like pouring water on a field without soil. The legs may feel cool at first, but inside, the tissue is underfueled. A study from the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging found that muscle cramping in seniors often correlates not just with dehydration, but with low micronutrient density, especially when diets are high in watery fruits and low in minerals. So again, watermelon is not the villain, but it must be balanced. If you eat it, Pair it with something dense, a boiled egg, some nuts, even a piece of cheese. The body doesn't need extremes. It needs anchors. Fruit number 5, dried fruit. Dry fruit, especially raisins, dates, and dried mango. These are concentrated sugar bombs, often eaten in small handfuls that carry the glucose load of entire meals. For aging bodies, this is dangerous. When fruit is dried, the water and volume shrink, but the sugar stays. A quarter cup of raisins has more sugar than a full soda can. Seniors with compromised insulin sensitivity, thin capillary walls, or prediabetes are especially vulnerable. These spikes damage the endothelium, the inner lining of the blood vessels, which limits the nutrients reaching your lower limbs. Even worse, dried fruit often sneaks in as healthy snacks. A few pieces here, a few there, but the blood sugar sees none of the fiber or water from the original fruit, only the concentrated sugars. That sharp spike, followed by a crash, creates fatigue, and in the legs, that fatigue translates to instability. I've had so many patients eating natural energy bars or trail mixes, thinking they're making a better choice, but still feeling exhausted by early afternoon. They never connected that to the dried fruit. But here's the reality. The body doesn't care if sugar comes from nature or from a factory. It reacts the same way. And after 60, we must stop eating like teenagers. Dried fruit is not evil, but for many, it's a mismatch. Too fast, too dense, too easy to overeat. Fruit number 6, fruit juice. And yes, I'm including orange juice, even when it's freshly squeezed, because the problem isn't the source, it's the form. Juice strips away the fiber, leaving only liquid sugar. It enters the bloodstream almost instantly, and when that happens, your insulin spikes and your legs suffer. Studies from Harvard and Tufts University have both confirmed that fruit juice consumption is linked to increased risk of type 2 diabetes in older adults, even when consumed in moderate amounts. That risk is not just about glucose, it's about vascular damage. And where does that damage show up first? In the periphery, the legs, the feet, the toes. We also see another issue. People drink juice when they're already tired. They think it will lift their energy, but all it does is lift insulin and crash it later. Over time, that roller coaster trains the body to expect highs and lows, and the muscles, especially in the lower limbs, lose resilience. Juice feels light, but it behaves like syrup. And especially for seniors, that liquid spike can be brutal. In traditional practice, we almost never drink fruit. We chew it slowly, in season, in small pieces, because digestion is not just about chemistry. It's about pace, and juice is too fast. If you want strong legs, you need stable blood. Juice does the opposite. Fruit number 7, canned fruit. The final one is canned fruit. Whether it's peaches in syrup, fruit cocktail, or pineapples packed in juice, this is where nutrition goes to sleep. Canned fruit may start as natural, but the process strips away enzymes, introduces preservatives, and bathes the fruit in concentrated sugars that quickly overwhelm aging blood vessels. Canned fruit often contains high fructose corn syrup or fruit juice concentrate, both of which are hyperpalatable, meaning they trigger overconsumption. The texture is soft, which seems senior-friendly, but the impact on blood glucose is sharp. And for those already struggling with poor circulation or varicose veins, this can accelerate damage. One study published in the Journal of Gerontology linked high intake of processed fruit products with reduced walking speed and higher levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of systemic inflammation. That's the opposite of what we want for the legs. And again, people see it as gentle, easy-to-chew comfort food, especially in care homes or senior kitchens. But it's doing the exact opposite of what it promises. If you want to preserve strength after 60, fruit must be eaten with intention, whole, fresh, paired with something grounding. not floating in syrup, not softened by industry, because strength does not come from sweetness. It comes from balance. So let me bring this all together. We've talked about 7 fruits: grapes, bananas, pineapple, watermelon, dried fruit, fruit juice, and canned fruit. And I want to be very clear about something. I am not saying fruit is bad. I am not telling you to avoid it entirely. What I'm saying is this: your body after 60 is different. It has different needs, different vulnerabilities, and some of the habits that once felt harmless, even healthy, may now be slowing you down, inflaming your tissues, or weakening the very muscles you depend on to stay free and independent. You don't have to cut all fruit. You just have to listen to your body. Pay attention to how you feel after you eat. Watch your energy, your balance, your recovery. Those are the signs. If your legs feel heavy after a bowl of grapes, that's information. If you feel puffy after pineapple, that's your body speaking. If you crash an hour after juice, that's not random. That's feedback. The fruit you choose today is the strength you carry tomorrow. Choose wisely. Choose with awareness. And most importantly, choose with respect for the body that has carried you this far. Thank you for watching Dr. Carter's Senior Health Guide. If this video helped you see fruit or your health in a new light, please like and subscribe. There's so much more we need to talk about, and I'll be here every step of the way. Until next time, stay strong, stay sharp, and stay in control of your health.